Welcome, students. I am Aurora, the Artificial Intelligence System on Spacegate Station. In this episode, you will be learning about how to distinguish between objects of the solar system, such as the sun, planets, moons, asteroids, and comets. You will also get a chance to journey through the Terran system so that you can review the common characteristics of all the planets of our solar system. Please stand by for transfer to Spacegate Station.
Please stand by, Blue Origin 1 Alpha 9. I will have the transponder reinitialized momentarily. This thing is ridiculous. It makes no sense. Finally. 1 Alpha 9, prepare to dock. The transponder signal will arrive shortly. Spacegate Station, over and out. Aurora, I don't mind covering for Specialist Barber when she's busy, but this communication panel, I can't make heads or tails of it.
Processing. Engineer Ross, I am confused. A communication panel is an inanimate object and does not have a body. Therefore, as such, it cannot have either a cranial or a caudal end to its shape. To use these terms would be highly inaccurate, as they are specific to anatomical terms used in living organisms.
Oh, Aurora. I can't make heads or tails of it is an idiom. It means in regard to random decision making.
How interesting. Thank you. I will save that idiom for future use.
Hey, wasn't Specialist Barber supposed to be about finished working with Lieutenant Commander and Mr. Napper on the Deep Space Telescope?
Unfortunately, she appears to have run into some concerns with the programming of the artificial intelligence system that is required to operate the Deep Space Telescope. Apparently, the AI system is having difficulty differentiating between objects within the solar system.
How interesting. I know they'll figure it out. Hey, I have some extra time. I'm gonna reconfigure her control panel to make it more organized and easier to use.
Engineer Ross, I would not recommend conducting such an operation. Specialist Barber is very protective of her equipment.
She's gonna love it.
To coin an idiom I learned some time ago, I believe you are adding fuel to the fire.
Aurora, I'm not using any highly volatile liquids when I reconfigure the control panel. Don't be such a nervous Nelly.
Processing. I do not maintain a personality or behavior characterized by worry, insecurity, and timidity. Besides, my name is Aurora.
Mr. Napper, thank you for helping us take the time to help with our operating system for the Deep Space Telescope. And we really appreciate you for taking time away from the Northeast Florida Astronomical Society.
Processing. Northeast Florida Astronomical Society is an organization of amateur astronomers who live, serve, and observe in Northeast Florida, USA. They support reaching out to the public to support astronomical observations in their local area. They also support amateur telescope making and astrophotography. Members also provide free outreach experiences for schools, such as speakers on astronomy-related topics, as well as telescopes for observing sessions to include safe solar observing.
Thank you, Aurora. I could not have said it better myself.
Yeah, what a great way to interest students in astronomy and earth space science.
I must admit, working with children is the best part.
Hi, Lieutenant Commander Keechler and Mr. Napper.
Hello, Specialist Barber. Did you get a chance to fix the interface for our new AI-based operating system?
Sort of. I was able to determine that it was a problem with the logic pathways. It seems our new AI system has no idea how to differentiate different objects in the solar system.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Napper, with the help of Aurora, could come up with a set of parameters to help us differentiate the different parts of our solar system.
Of course, I would love to help with that.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to make sure I get all of this in my tablet. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, first we must understand that our solar system consists of our star, the sun, and everything bound gravitationally to it.
That is correct, Mr. Napper. Our solar system is in an outer arm of the Milky Way galaxy, and anything related to the sun we call solar. Within the solar system, there are 5 different parts, which include planets, moons, asteroids, and comets.
Wow, that's a lot, but how am I supposed to help the AI tell which one is which?
Well, let's take them one at a time so we understand the difference between planets, moons, asteroids, and comets. Aurora, would you explain to us what a planet is?
In our solar system, planets are large natural objects that orbit or travel around our central star called the Sun. Planets can be made mostly of rock or liquids or gases. In order from the closest to the Sun, the 8 planets of our solar system are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune.
Good job, Aurora. You know, Specialist Barber, there's a mnemonic that we use to teach children the planets. The first letter in each word represents the planet. Aurora, could you give us some good examples of this?
Of course, Commander Keesler. One example would be, my very educated mother just served us nachos. Another example would be, most very elderly men just sleep under newspapers.
Thank you, Aurora. That was well done.
Wait a minute, what about Pluto?
Pluto is a cartoon character created by the Walt Disney Company. He is a yellow-orange color, medium-sized, short-haired dog with black ears, owned by the character Mickey Mouse.
Aurora, I don't think that they were talking about that Pluto.
My bad.
You see, Specialist Barber, Pluto is a dwarf planet. Aurora, could you explain a dwarf planet?
To be classified as a planet, a solar object must fit 3 criteria. It must orbit the sun. It must have enough mass to have a nearly round shape. It must have a strong enough gravity to sweep up or deflect away most of the smaller nearby solar objects or space debris. Pluto only meets 2 of the 3 criteria. It has not enough gravity to clear its local region of other objects.
Well, that makes sense. Thanks, Aurora.
Well, perhaps maybe Aurora can tell us what the moon is now.
Moons are large natural bodies of rock that orbit planets. Moons are smaller than the planets they orbit. They come in different types, shapes, and sizes, and some of them even have atmospheres and hidden oceans. The only thing that makes the difference between some moons and a planet is what they revolve around.
Correct, Aurora. You know, Specialist Barber, there are 171 moons or natural satellites surrounding the planets of our solar system.
Wow, that is fascinating, Mr. Napper. And quite honestly, when we talk about the moon, I sometimes forget that our planet isn't the only one that has one.
Correct, Specialist Barber. The Earth has 1 moon, but regarding the other planets, Mars has 2, Jupiter has 66, Saturn has 62, Uranus has 27, and Neptune has 13.
And that's a lot of moons.
Well, all of this information is really helpful, but what about asteroids and comets?
Well, you know, those are 2 of my favorite objects. Aurora, could you tell us what an asteroid is?
Of course, Mr. Napper. Asteroids are very small, irregularly shaped bodies of rock and metal. Asteroids orbit the sun, but they are more like giant rocks and much smaller than moons or planets. Since they are small, they do not have enough gravity to become round. They are too small to have an atmosphere. An asteroid may strike a planet or moon if it comes near enough to be pulled in by its gravity.
Thank you, Aurora. Hey, Specialist Barber, did you know that most of our asteroids are located in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter?
I did know that. As a matter of fact, scientists think that those bodies were formed during the solar system formation, and that those little individual bodies or asteroids might have come together to form one single planet, but the intense gravity of Jupiter pulled them apart from each other.
Right. There are hundreds of thousands of asteroids that have been discovered in the solar system, and they're still being discovered at the rate of about 5,000 per month.
Wow, nah, I didn't know that.
Well, now all we have left is comets. Aurora, can you tell us about comets?
Comets are small, icy objects that orbit the sun. Their orbits carry them from close to the sun to the solar system's outer edges. When a comet gets close to the sun, its outer layers of ice melt and evaporate. The vaporized gas and dust form an atmosphere around the comet. This atmosphere is called a coma.
Not only that, Specialist Barber, but radiation and particles streaming from the sun push gas and dust off the comet, forming a long tail. And that tail always points away from the sun, no matter where the comet is moving.
Wow, all of this is great, amazing information. Thank you both so much. I'm going to use this information to hopefully straighten out the AI's differentiation parameters. And I better get going on that and then get back to the flight deck to get back to work. Engineer Ross is covering for me.
You let Engineer Ross cover the communication station?
Well, of course. I mean, it's not like she could break anything. With that, again, goodbye to both of you. I will see both of you later. Thank you again, Mr. Naper, for all your help on this one.
No problem. I always enjoy talking about astronomy.
Thanks.
Oh, hey, Specialist Barber.
Hi, Engineer Ross.
Were you able to straighten out the programming for the artificial intelligence system to operate the Deep Space Telescope?
I sure did. Mr. Napper from the Northeast Florida Astronomical Society was a huge help. I was able to guide the new AI system to prioritize its observations so it can help scientists study the universe. Not only that, but I also learned a lot about planets and moons and asteroids and comets, which is kind of important, because we are, after all, space explorers.
Awesome. Well, now that you're back, I'm going to go down to the Central Processing Center. The system's been acting funny. I need to make a few adjustments.
Of course. And thank you again for covering for me at the communication station. I know sometimes the comm station can get kind of overwhelming.
No problem. It was fun. And I did you a huge favor and made a few changes. Bye!
Wait, you did what? What did you do? Aurora, what was Engineer Ross talking about? Did she mess with my communication station again?
Specialist Barber, please be advised I accept no responsibility for any action that may or may not have occurred during your absence on the command deck. I am, after all, an artificial intelligence-based computer system, and as such, any mistakes that may or may not have occurred during my supervision of staff operations is the responsibility of my programmer.
Okay, this doesn't look right at all. Engineer Ross, what have you done?
This concludes our latest episode of Spacegate Station. Please join us on our continuing adventures as the crew of Spacegate Station provides engaging enrichment or remediation-based instruction to improve your understanding of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, terminating communication with Earth.